More than 750 unmarked graves have been found near a former Catholic boarding school for indigenous children in Western Canada. A tribal leader said Thursday, the second such shock discovery in a month. The revelation once again cast a spotlight on a dark chapter in Canada's history and received calls on the Vatican to apologize for the abuse and violence suffered at the schools, where students were forcibly assimilated into the country's dominant culture.
The Pope needs to apologize for what has happened to the Maryville Residential School, impact on Cowes' First Nation survivors and descendants. So we have 751 hits as of yesterday. And with a 10% error, I gotta admit, math is not my favorite. I like to say over 600, just to be assured. In the coming weeks, each of these hits will be assessed by a technical team, and we will get a verified number in the coming weeks. And I just want to rephrase, this is not a mass grave site. These are unmarked graves. And we didn't remove these headstones. Removing headstones is a crime in this country. And we are treating this like a crime scene at the moment. In 1960, there may have been marks on these graves. The Catholic Church representatives removed these headstones, and today they are unmarked graves.
Excavations at the Maryville School, about 150 kilometers or 90 miles east of the provincial capital Regina, began at the end of May after the discovery of remains of 215 school children at another former Indigenous residential school in British Columbia. After the discovery of the remains at the Kamloops School, excavations were undertaken near several former institutions for Indigenous children across Canada with the assistance of government authorities. Some 150,000 Native Americans, Métis, and Inuit children were forcibly recruited until the 1990s in 139 of these residential schools across Canada, where they were isolated from their families, their language, and their culture. Many were subjected to ill treatment and sexual abuse, and more than 4,000 died in the schools, according to a commission of inquiry that concluded Canada had committed cultural genocide against the Indigenous communities. Perry Bellegarde, National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, said the discovery of the Saskatchewan site was absolutely tragic but not surprising. I urge all Canadians to stand with First Nation in this extremely difficult and emotional time, Bellegarde said.
We're tired of being told what to do and how to do it. We are smart enough and ready to do it ourselves. And Canada, one day, hopefully when my 4-year-old is old, will have reconciliation through and through the spirit and intent, so Indigenous people and Canada can thrive on this land together.
In early June, a few days after the discovery of bones in Kamloops, UN human rights expert urged Ottawa and the Vatican to conduct a full and prompt investigation into the discovery.